Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read you a story, The Hard-Shelled Lobster. Reading it to level 3C. The Hard-Shelled Lobster. Okay, let's read it. The Hard-Shelled Lobster. Okay, let's read it.
A lobster.
A lobster has feelers for filling, eyes on stalks, petals for swimming, legs for walks, a tail that steers, a shell for wearing, a claw for crunching, a claw for tearing. Lobsters have many parts, so many parts sticking out of their bodies that you'd think they would get all tangled up, but they don't. Every part does a job that helps keep these hard-shelled creatures alive. Tiny fingered petals called swimmers cover a lobster's stomach and help it swim. But when a lobster wants to go somewhere in a hurry, it uses its fan-shaped tail. With just one flip, its tail moves a lobster so far and so fast that it seems as if a blur is whipping along. But look at the direction the lobster is going backwards. No, lobsters don't bump into things as we would. Their eyes are attached to stalks that move, so they can see in almost every direction. So good. Lobsters swim forwards and sideways too, but not as fast as backwards. During the day, during the day, they hardly move at all. Instead, they stay hidden under a uh, tangle of sweet or dug burrows in the dark, muddy ocean bottom. And night is their hunting time, when they poke into rocky corners of the sea floor, looking for shellfish, snails, sea urchins, and starfish alive or dead. Their feelers, cold antennas, help them find food and warn them when dangerous enemies, big fish and seals, are nearby. Lobsters have lots of legs, as you can see. 4 of their 8 walking legs have tiny pink-like claws. In front of the walking legs, a lobster waves 2 great claws. One of these claws is heavy enough to dig through gravel and sand for buried shellfish, and strong enough to crush the shells. The other has sharp saw-like teeth for grabbing and cutting food. Without the hard, tough shells that cover them, lobsters wouldn't be safe from their enemies very long. And if there weren't joints, hands dividing their shells into sections, lobsters couldn't move at all. But while their bodies grow, their shells stay in the same size. So whenever a growing lobster becomes too tight in its shell, it just climbs right out of it. This happens many times during the first year of a lobster's life and year once a year afterward. It is always it is always time of danger for a lobster. It takes a few weeks for new shell to harden, and during this time, a lobster stays hidden in deep rocky holes or in thick seaweed that grows on the ocean bottom. Lobsters hatch from eggs laid in deep water. They are born without swimmers, so they paddle with their hairy little legs, snapping up any food they can find floating on top of the water. After a few weeks, they sink to the bottom of the sea and live down there for the rest of their lives. Today I read a story about these lobsters, the hard-shelled lobster. Lobster has many parts, so many parts sticking out their bodies, and every part does a job that helps this hard-shelled creature lobsters alive. These lobsters go backwards, but these lobsters don't bump into anything, into things as we would. Their eyes are attached to stalks they move, so they can see in almost every direction. Lobsters swim forward and sideways too, but not as fast as backward. When they go to backward, it's fastest, but it can go to forward and sideways too. Night is their hunting time. When they poke into rocky corners of the seafloor looking for shellfish, snails, sea urchins, and starfish, alive or dead, their feelers called antennas help them find food. And they have lots of legs and the hard shells. The lobster grows. The lobster's bodies grow. Their shells stay the same size. So whenever a growing lobster becomes too tight of its shell, just comes out of it, right out of it. And when they are born, after a few weeks, they sink to the bottom of the sea and live down there for the rest of their lives. Today I read the story, Hard-Shelled Lobster. Okay, bye!